Some people think that science and religion are such different subjects that they never have anything to say to one another. I disagree. They do have important things to say to one another. Actually, everyone knows this, even if they don't all admit it. I've already pointed out that actually theology was extremely important in nurturing science, especially in its early stages. That's a way in which religion impacted science. In the other direction, for example, it was once the case that almost all Christians, and everybody else for that matter, thought that the sun orbited the fixed earth. Well, now we don't. So science has impacted our perspectives on cosmology. But having said that, it's vitally important to realize that science, by which I mean natural science, the sorts of things that are discovered by physics and chemistry and biology and geology and cosmology and so on, that science has limits. There are many things that natural science is incompetent to study because its methods rely on reproducibility and clarity, which not all subjects possess. There's a very widespread mistaken opinion these days to the contrary. It is, in short, the belief that science is all the real knowledge there is. That opinion is called scientism. Scientism is not a finding of science, nor is it an assumption that is necessary in order for science to function. Science is a metaphysical presumption that many people, including some scientists, have mistakenly elevated to the status of practically a religious belief. And my book, Monopolizing Knowledge, is an examination of scientism, its history, its practitioners, its advocates, and how it affects us today, and how it feeds the culture wars that have roiled the academy in the past few decades. A more sober assessment of the relationship between Christianity and science arrives at a far different view, far more realistic than the warfare myth. The likes of Galileo and Newton and Boyle and Kepler and Dalton and Faraday and Maxwell and many, many others were serious, committed Christians as well as the greatest of scientists. They didn't consider that science had disproved Christianity or rendered it implausible, and neither do I. Christianity, in my view, is consistent with science, but it's not consistent with scientism because that is, in the end, a kind of rival religion. So returning now, finally, to my reasons for being a Christian, my Christian faith is based on an assessment of different types of reasons. Most of them are not scientific, but they are nevertheless logical and rational. The most important types of reasons for me are a combination of historical evidence and personal religious experience. So you might say that my faith is based on experience, but not on the certainty of reproducible scientific experiment. Still, that's not a reason to discount it. Like everyone else, I make small and large decisions on minimal evidence beyond personal preference and impulse every moment of my waking life. That's what it means to be sentient. And if history is any judge, then it is people who act boldly and with determination and commitment, even in the face of risk and in the absence of complete knowledge, who are successful in the world. Such people are called men and women of action. They act in accordance with a view of the world that is plausible but unproven. That is, they act on faith. And I think that my religious faith is quite simply the same kind of principle applied to matters of God and the Spirit. Now, that's not everything that the Christian faith is. Christians over the centuries have experienced by faith what we take to be a personal relationship with God.